Well, hi, and welcome back to the drama of the Christmas story. In this episode, we'll look at scene 4, the merciful resolution. When things look their darkest, God sends the reassurance that everything is as it should be. Luke 2, 8 through 20 records how God gave Mary and Joseph assurance that they were doing his will and that he was with them. And he did this through some pretty unlikely people. First, by a group of these Levite shepherds. I spoke about them in the previous episode. They were almost certainly familiar with all the prophecies about the coming of the Messiah, the location and the manner as given through the prophet Micah. So they show up at the stable with this amazing story about an angel choir telling them to go find the Messiah recently born nearby. How would they recognize him? Well, they would recognize him because he is a tiny baby wrapped up like a lamb and placed in a feeding trough. In other words, the baby would fulfill the prophecies about how Messiah would come into the world as a sacrificial lamb. And this is incredibly reassuring to Mary and Joseph when they show up, because it shows that they are not crazy. God is in control, and they can rest assured that they are fully in his will, even though it still seems very confusing. Then we're told about the wise men, or magi, from the east, probably from the Parthian Empire in modern Iran. They show up bearing gifts and saying they were directed there by a special star to see the newborn King of the Jews. And here's another reassurance. The account lists specific gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Now, why are these gifts important in the story? Well, 2 reasons at least. First, the gifts are expensive. They're fit for a king. So they underscore who this child is, the Son of God. Second, they are practical because the census is taking time to complete, months probably. Mary and Joseph are most likely running out of resources. Soon the family will need some ready money to make an even greater journey when the angel reveals to Joseph that they're in great danger and must flee to Egypt to escape the murderous actions of Herod the Great. So the gifts are generous and timely. Later, we're also told about others who had a part to play in reassuring this couple in their very unique and difficult circumstances. After the birth, Mary and Joseph went to the temple in Jerusalem with Jesus to fulfill certain ceremonies related to the birth of a child. Simeon was an elderly man visiting the temple in Jerusalem, and he recognized the baby as the Messiah and testified that the child was the promised Messiah, and he warned Mary that her son would be a source of great controversy among the Jews and a cause of great sorrow for her. He praised God that he had lived to see the Messiah and that now he could die in peace. Another elderly person named Anna added her voice on that occasion, announcing to any who would listen that the Messiah had arrived in the person of this baby. Even earlier, before Jesus' birth, when Mary visited her cousin Elizabeth, she assured Mary of the lordship and divinity of the child growing within her. So their story was confirmed by Levite shepherds, high-status holy men from a distant land, and an assortment of others. None of these people changed the circumstances that Joseph and Mary were facing, but they did give the encouragement needed for the couple to go on and fulfill God's plan in their lives. Notice that Luke 2:19 says, Mary pondered these things in her heart. Can you imagine how crucial it was to Mary and Joseph that these people were sent to them? There were many times later in life that she thought about these events, and it helped her through what must have been a very, very difficult life. I want to suggest some applications of this story for our own lives. But we're out of time, so I will make some applications in the next episode. Till then, this is Dr. Michael Bogart, hoping your Christmas will be a special one. I'll see you in episode 5.